I was going over my numbers because I was preparing for the upcoming some version of real estate club. I know we got stock club, but I'm gonna have to give a snazzy name to the real estate live streams that we're about to be doing because I want to bring y'all up to speed and give y'all a little bit more insight on how y'all can capitalize from a real estate perspective if you decide to take that investment strategy. Um, I was preparing it, and then I had basically got a bill this morning. Obviously, I got a bill from my surveyor from the next property that we starting that we about to break ground on. And then I was talking to the contractors as far as the painters. Man, paint is so expensive. I mean, and I'm saying painting from scratch because, like, for example, I built the basement into this property that I'm finishing up now. And so, it's a lot of y'all not even familiar with basements because you live in Florida, or you might live in Louisiana that's 10 feet below sea level or something like that. But paint is expensive. The custom cabinets, the custom shelves, countertops, painting the whole house from the top all the way up to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was like, I don't remember, like, total, it's going to cost me probably well over $20,000 to paint this house, which includes the materials, includes the labor, the priming. I got custom everything. So, even though all of my properties have to be up to a certain standard, I can't be a slumlord. I'm not going to put the cheapest cabinets in there or nothing like that. Everything is granite. Because I'm going to own it forever. So you could cheap out on the initial cost, but I don't have any financing. I don't have any interest payments to make. So I just put the best materials in there. Even if we rent it out, right? So it's got crown molding all over, the best trim everywhere, custom built-in closets and all of that. Not that cheap stuff that you get that's just a pole that go across with the little wires and all of that. Nah, everything is custom, so everything, but it costs a lot of money in order to have that type of quality. So I always want to give the best products to the people, regardless of what the state is that we doing. But we always want to get the best products because we want to own it forever, right? You get the best materials, roofing. We don't do asphalt, we do concrete. So it's a lot. But I definitely want to, and we don't use cheap labor, right? We use the same contractors over and over again. We want to make sure that they get paid. We want to make sure that they're taken care of. So that costs. A lot of people don't understand it. As a business owner, that comes out to a lot more. I can go and get me some Venezuelans. I can go and get me some, people that is working under the table and stuff like that. But we want to do business on the up and up, right? And so that's the way we teach people inside of the Patreon. And it's going to pay off long term much more than if you would have cheaped out and you being a slumlord and stuff like that, right? You get people that stick around and stay in your properties for a lifetime because they get quality. They have a greater quality of life. They don't get gouged out of their eyeballs and continuing to raise rent. And so I try to minimize the amount of interest that I'm paying in order to finance it myself so that I get a longer return. The people is benefiting from it. Everybody wins. So we just always want to do the right thing. We just want to make sure that we take care of business. We want to do the right thing. It's not about gouging people. It's not about the market. It's about the type of business that you do, and people do business with you forever. So we take care of all of our contractors, our painters, our custom cabinetry people, excavators, framers. Everybody is going to get paid. Everybody eats, B. Everybody eats, B. And the one thing that people have always said, regardless of how they feel about me or my tone or the things that I say, I always do good business. I am always going to do good business. And let me just start off the show by saying that, right? Because this is impromptu, and I always just kind of like give y'all my thoughts, and I kind of sometimes ramble. But it's important for y'all to do good business. I don't know where y'all got off at running off on the plug and, getting to a point to where y'all think that it's cool to do people dirty. That stuff comes back to bite you. Your reputation as a business person. And again, regardless of how people have ever felt about my tone or what I said or my messages or whether or not you like me or you don't like me, nobody, and I mean 0 people in this world could ever say that they didn't get paid from me, that they wasn't taken care of, that they didn't have the same quality of care when they fly in, that if they do work for me as a contractor, as a business owner, if you have done a website for me because My recent new site is launched. If y'all want to tap into my new site, go to antondaniels.com. I paid him literally almost a year ahead of time before I actually came back. Now, I was a little bit slower because I've been so busy. I was a little bit slower on making sure that, I went through and I pick and choose what I like, what I didn't like, what I wanted to change and everything like that. And then eventually I was like, hey, man, let's just get this done and just launch it. But he was already paid a long time ago in full. You know what I'm saying? So I always make sure I take care of the people. And sometimes it even comes back to bite me. Now I got the right people around me. And so I just use the same people over and over again so everybody benefits. If you work for me as a contractor, all of my editors, any assistants that I may have, anybody that rock with me, the one thing that they cannot say is that I don't break bread, that I don't make sure that people is taken care of, and I've always paid people first. I remember when I opened my first restaurant and I was building that out, and, they often say that, in the first year, because I was still in corporate America, I had other businesses and stuff like that. Sometimes when we was launching, before we ever even sold a product, even in training, I would pay people out of my own pocket. I would make sure that people was taken care of. So, if you're going to get into this game, no matter what it is that you do as an entrepreneur, because I hear a lot of times, and people absolutely love working for me. They love dealing with Rita because we are not pushy. We make sure that we hear everybody's concerns. We adjust and we always make sure that, they get everything that they need. If you deal with most contractors, as far as like carpet people, stair people, hardwood flooring, painters, drywallers, excavators, survey people, all of these different people that you got to work with, roofers in order to build the house or whatever, what they will tell you is that most builders are dirty. The big ones, the little ones, the custom home builders, homeowners that ultimately are getting their homes built by the contractors, and they come in and they pick whatever it is that they want or whatever. They are nasty. People have bad attitudes in the United States of America across the board, and it don't matter what color you are. It don't matter what gender you are. People are nasty, and they think that even the ones that are paying you on time, sometimes, most of the time on time, because what I've heard from a lot of contractors in particular, and I'm going to go over this inside of the Patreon, and I'm going to break it down of why this makes sense. I'm not going to deep dive into it today. But a lot of these contractors will come in and they do some of the same contractors that work for me, depending on what they do. Some of them work for the bigger builders. They work for the Lennar Homes. They work for the Pulte Homes and stuff like that. And they hate working for some of these builders and for some of the custom builders, because a lot of these people will come in after they got a contract and they'll say, well, you know what? If you still want to get paid, because you can take this to court, you can go back and forth. But if you want to get paid, you got to take this lesser amount after they've already completed the work. You will be surprised. Listen, the corporate building business game is much more cutthroat than the streets. Way more cutthroat than the streets, because you don't really have any recourse. You don't have any remedy. In the streets, it's cutthroat, but you know what you're getting into, and you know that there's consequences that come along with it. As a contractor or as a business person, you can go to court, but you can't do nothing to me physically. Technically, you can't, right? And so a lot of these guys, they'll tell me, man, I hate doing this, or I hate doing that, or we'll only take this contract if we ain't got nothing else to do. It is imperative, and I cannot illustrate this more to you guys than I am right now. It is imperative that you always pay people on time, even before you pay yourself. Pay your people, pay your contractors, pay your employees, pay the people that is doing work for you, because if you want to maintain a good reputation, there is nothing worse than a bad business reputation. There is nothing worse than a bad business reputation. If you are a restaurant owner, pay your vendors. Don't just running off on the plug is more than just a dope dealer's tree, heroin, fentanyl term. It is a term that happens every single day in business. You have to take care of your people. Take care of your people. Do not meet your obligations, exceed expectations, give people random bonuses, pay them a regular wage, and then also throw a couple gifts in there if you want to, just to let them know that you appreciate them. You have to treat your contractors and treat the people that work for you similarly to how you treat the people that you're in a relationship in real life. You're not listening to me. You have to treat the people that work for you like you are in a real full-blown relationship and you busting them down at night. Maybe that's why some of y'all have such bad relationships with the people that work for y'all, because y'all don't even know how to maintain a relationship in real life. You got to treat people, under promise, over deliver, and then extend grace, while at the same time grooming them and putting them in the best position possible so that they can do their best work. When a woman, for example, don't have to worry about the same things that other women worry about, they often at times give you their best selves because they can dedicate their entire focus to you. When you remove all of the barriers to entry, when people ain't got to worry about money, when people ain't got to worry about whether or not they're going to have a roof over their head, when they know that they're going to get paid from you, they are absolutely going to perform. They can't wait to, oh, Mr. Daniels, oh, let me show you what's going on. And then they come in and they expecting for me to say, because they so used to dealing with other people, they expecting for me to say, oh, no, I don't like that, change that, this, that. I don't talk like that to people. I never talk like that to people. Nope. I'll be like, you know what do you recommend? You the expert. I mean, I just write the checks. You the expert. Oh, you know what? If you really want the best product, I recommend this. Okay, let's go with that. I'm always a yes and, not a no but. I'm a yes and, not a no but. Yeah, and how about we also take this into consideration? Even when I disagree with somebody that works with me or a contractor, I'm always, okay, you know what, I hear you, yeah. But how about we also take this into consideration? Because, I'm trying to figure out whether or not this makes sense also. I don't just go in and tell people what to do. I lead from the front, not whip them from behind. It's a whole nother way in which you have to master that. And so many people haven't learned these lessons because they haven't worked in corporate America. They haven't humbled themselves and had mentors in their life. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to deal with a relationship, which then translates into every other aspect of your life. So what I'm telling y'all is you have to have a completely different mindset. Communication is an art form. You have to know the difference between when you're in a debate and you're in an interview versus you actually dealing with people that are subjecting themselves to you. People want to do things for you. They want to be useful. They want to go out there and show you their talent. You have to enable them. My job is not to fire you. My job is to figure out whether or not I can put you in the best position possible. And if you don't like it, then you'll nag yourself out and remove yourself from that position. My only rule, and I said this, and we're going to go ahead and get into the show now. My only rule is that I will never force somebody to be somewhere or do something that they don't want to do. That is my main rule. That is the rule that I live by in a relationship. It's the rule that I live by in corporate. It's the rule that I live by in business. And it's the rule that I live by in content creation. I will never force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. I am not going to beg. I'm not going to fight. You're going to have to want to be here, and you're going to be rewarded accordingly, according to your loyalty, according to your work ethic, and according to your dedication. That's my only rule. Everything else, malleable. I can figure it out. We can work together. Hey, you know what? You messed up. We all mess up. We're not going to worry about that. How can we fix it? How can we learn from this? How can we continue to grow? That's how you got to go about leading. That's how you have to lead in your household. That's how you got to take care of the people that's around you. That's why I have an unwavering loyalty from the people that is around me. Even when I spot a op, we able to weed that out quickly, because you going to show yourself, because you don't know how to operate in this conducive environment because you so used to operating in toxicity.